Students, in this particular class we will be learning about the all important enumerate method. So this is what we are going to learn. Now, what is the function of this particular method? Now, this function is used to iterate over a list. That's very important. You can either use a list or other iterables. Now, the specialty is that this keeps track of the current items index. That's the all important action that this does. And this is a very powerful method. So let me read it to you. This function is used to iterate over a list or other iterables while keeping track of the current items index. So this makes this particular function a valuable one. So let me give you some examples. I'm going to start my illustration here. So let me take this example. So names is equal to, I'm going to have a list. I'm going to say Mark, Matthew, Luke, and let me give a few more names. John, Mary, Esther, Sarah. Okay, so these are the names. Now there aren't any index for these names. We don't know in what order these names occur. So whenever you get values or data using the CSV, we get that data converted into a list, and from there onwards we can perform any operations. But for that to be possible, we need to know where these names or in what order these names are featuring. So that is one action we are going to do now. So for that, I will start off with the for loop. For, you generally give two variables. I'm going to give variable as index and then name. In, I'm calling the function enumerate, open the parenthesis and send in the argument. That's it you need to do. So this is the all important function I was talking to you about. Now what does this do? This displays the names along with the position that they occur, and that could easily be converted into a tuple. That's exactly what we are going to see in the oncoming illustrations, how we can use this function. For this example, all I'm going to do is I'm going to be printing it out. So to print this information, I need some formatting. So I would be using the F string. So how do we do that? We start with the F, open a double quote, position. That would give us the position of the name. And now we need to give the value that would be evaluated. So for that, you open a parenthesis like this and send in the argument. In this case, the variable that we were talking about, index. So this has to be sent in. So this will display the index, and along with the displaying the index, we need to display the name. So for that is, you can just give is and then open the parenthesis and then put the name variable there. So 0 is the position of Mark. That's it. So I'm going to save this line of code and I would run it. So when I execute this, you can clearly see 0 is the, or I should say position 0 is, I don't need to place the there. Okay, so you're able to get the idea there. 0 is Mark, 1 is Matthew, so I will take the D out and then I will run it again. So now it's okay. Position 0 is Mark, 1 is Matthew, 2 is Luke, and so on and so forth. Now let me give you a few important highlights of this enumerate. Now, enumerate is actually works well with the for loop. In fact, for loop is the only loop which has the ability to go through the values, go through each pair. So works well. I want to place in only, but I will just avoid that. Works well with for loop. And then next is, we were using the index variable, right? So index is the position starting from 0, and in this case we used name is the name of the person. So that's a few information that I wish to give. So all of these things can be commented, and what I wish to do now is I would like to give you a better illustration. Where do we exactly find this, or where can we apply this technique? Now imagine you have the following names. So let me highlight all of this and comment this off, and I'm going to show you an illustration. To really appreciate the enumerate function. You can use function or method. Now this is the idea. Now you're getting a CSV file, and that file has got a lot of duplicates. So you are converting that CSV into a list, and your job is to pick out the duplicates. So for that to happen, you need to capture the index. You need to know which name is occurring where. So there's no point in simply saying Tom is occurring 20 times or 200 times in this data. Now you need to know where exactly Tom is occurring, in which position Tom is occurring, so that you can weed those duplicates out. So that is the exact information that is required, right? There's simply no point in saying that, say you have 100 kilograms of rice, but there are some impurities in the rice. The question is, where are the impurities hiding? So with that in mind, let me go on to this illustration. So I'm going to say names is equal to, I'm going to open a parenthesis, and I'm going to give in the following names. So Mark, Bob, Bill, because I need to enter some names. Mark, in fact I will enter all these names, copy it, and then I will enter Bob, Bill and Ariel. Just copy these things, and then I will also have names like Alice. I'll just copy these names and paste it there. I've already created a dictionary, so I'm going to run a for loop. For index name in enumerate, the function is being called. I'm passing in the parameters, and then if name in the sorted names, if I'm able to find a name in this, then what I want is, I want the name to be added. So sorted name to be added in the sense, I want the index along to be presented there. So sorted names, and since we are dealing with names, I need to pass in that particular argument. Dot append the index. So if the name is found, what I'm doing here is I'm just going to place in the index alongside the name, and that would be featuring as a dictionary. If it isn't so, then just take that name and feature an index to that. So I want an index, so place that index, right? It's a simple line of code. Now since I've already sorted that information here, now it's time for me to display. So this is to display the dictionary. So for that, for you can say name comma index in sorted names. Now you need to get the items, so we call that method there, and then I'm using an f string, so print f, and then you print the name, this name, and then give some wording, appears at this index. That's it. So the index will be displayed, and you need something to be evaluated, so I'm going to get that index displayed there. That's it, simple as that. So you save it and you run it. Let me explain to you one more time. So two variables are actually looping through the contents that enumerates displays to us. And what am I doing here? I'm checking if name is in this particular dictionary. Then along with that name, you add an appendix, you add an index. That's it, simple as that. And this name is being declared here, right? The variables name and indexes are declared here. If not, you make sure that the name and the index are assigned to. The exact index where the name is found are assigned. And that's it, and this line of code will display that information. So I'm saving it and I will run it, excuse me. So when I run it, you can clearly see mark appears as index 0, 4, 5, 15, 27, 28. You see that? So this is just to show us points where the name Mark is appearing. Bob is appearing at this, and Bill is appearing at this index. So these are the information. So from here we can easily remove the unwanted elements. So that is about enumerate. Now you can actually present in several conditions here. Now I'm going to show you one variation. So let's do that. Now this is another illustration I wish to give. Say for example you have names which are occurring only once. Say James, Jack, Jasmine. So these are the names which are featuring in this particular list just once. Now I don't want these names to be in the output. In other words, my intention is to find out those names which are being repeated more than twice. So the object of this code is to find those names which are occurring 2 to 3 times. 2 to 3 times. So that is the objective. So I don't want the names which are occurring once. So sorted names, I'm going to say sorted names. I'm going to declare a dictionary. After which, let me use the for loop for index comma name in enumerate, and in this enumerate I will have to send in this particular argument names. So I'm going to make a check if names dot count of name in if they are occurring between 2 to 3 times, then we perform this operation. If name in sorted names, so if the names are found in sorted names, then what I want to do is I would take the sorted names with the argument, and then I will append an index to them, and then I'll get it printed in the coming for loop. Now if this doesn't occur, if the name is not there but this condition holds good, then I will have to add that particular name. So this is going to be sorted of name with that index. That's it. Now let me get the information printed. We will print the list here. So for name comma index in sorted names. Now we need to loop it, so I need to call the method items, and then I'm going to use the f-string method f. So this will be evaluated is occurring at index and then you're sending the index. So this is the code that would display names which are occurring 2 to 3 times, but it would not display this one, Jasmine, Jack and James. Let me save it and run it. So clearly you can see Bob is there, it's occurring 3 times at index 1, 12, 24. Bill, Harry, Luke, John. You see Luke is occurring at 7 and 30, but we are not seeing the 3 names which I have given here, James, Jack and Jasmine. So this is a beautiful program which would help us to remove duplicates. So this is one of the applications of enumerate. In fact, as I mentioned to you, the sky is the limit how we utilize these methods and functions. Thank you, students. Enjoy your day until we meet again.